Despite adding a 5x telephoto zoom and Apple Intelligence, the iPhone 16 Pro seemed like a rather safe upgrade for Apple. To be clear, it's still one of the greatest phones you can buy, but there isn't much incentive for the ordinary owner of the iPhone 15 Pro to consider upgrading, unless they're really into photography. It's still early days for the iPhone 16 Pro, but it already seems like it may be a more dramatic boost than last year's version. Here are the 5 largest predicted changes rumored thus far. The Pro iPhone's appearance has only experienced minimal alterations since the iPhone 14 Pro debuted Dynamic Island, but that appears likely to change this year. According to the very trustworthy leaker John Prosser at Front Page Tech, the upcoming flagship iPhones are likely to take a page out of current Pixel phones' books, with a camera block reaching to cover the back of the phone. Interestingly, Apple looks to be doing this, just as Google is moving away from same design language with the incoming Pixel 9a. We mentioned Dynamic Island before, and that's projected to become smaller on both the iPhone 17 Pro Max and the iPhone 17 Air. With that in mind, it would be strange if the ordinary Pro model missed out on the update, but we'll see. The iPhone 16 Pro features 3 rear cameras. Both the primary and ultra-wide lenses offer 48 megapixels. However, the 5x telephoto lens is restricted to 12 megapixels. According to expert Jeff Pugh, this is slated to alter in 2025 with the zoom lens, matching the others with 48 megapixels. Selfies might also receive a lift, with Pugh also expecting the front-facing camera's megapixel count jumping from 12 to 24. 1. A generational speed increase. Aside from the iPhone 14 sporting the same CPU as the iPhone 13, a strategy to make the Pro versions look more appealing, Apple always provides its new devices a performance increase between generations. This year, the iPhone 17 Pro is anticipated to benefit from a generational leap to the A19 processor. While this is no longer anticipated to be the first chip built using the 2mem technology, chip manufacturer TSMC will be unveiling a new N3P process to enhance transistor density. The upshot is we may look forward to increased performance and efficiency, but it's not obvious precisely how big of a bump we'll receive yet. Historically, a new processor delivers between a 10 and 20% performance improvement in iPhones, so hopefully this will be on the upper end. 2. Faster charging at last. The efficiency gain may contribute to a longer battery life, but a more substantial shift may be afoot when it comes to charging. According to the investment company GF Securities, the whole iPhone 17 family is likely to feature 35W cable charging, quite an increase from the stated 20W rates given presently. The term official is doing some heavy lifting there, however. Historically, iPhones have charged quicker than claimed, with the iPhone 13 Pro Max capable of 27W rates back in 2021. Nonetheless, an official improvement would still be good, given the iPhone has trailed behind competing devices in terms of charging speeds. And although this is nothing near the 100W charging given by the OnePlus 13, it should still be a considerable boost. 3. More RAM? Maybe. With Apple Intelligence forcing a rise in RAM for the ordinary iPhone 16 last year, it appears like the iPhone 17 Pro smartphones will be receiving an update of their own in 2025. The expert Jeff Pugh expects that both the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max devices will exceed 12 gigs RAM this year, giving them 4 gigs more than the present models have. However, another expert, Main-Shea Kuo, has already claimed that he expects this will only apply to the iPhone 17 Pro Max, which would definitely be frustrating for those who want a smaller smartphone. Taken together, the alleged alterations offer a compelling argument for holding off on your upgrade. Compared to the current Apple flagship, the iPhone 17 Pro is supposed to perform better, deliver greater telephoto capture, and charge quicker. The new appearance, although not to everyone's taste, also easily isolates it from recent iPhones. And there's plenty of time for further differences to make themselves known. The iPhone 17 isn't slated to debut until September, so we'd expect leaks to disclose more interesting enhancements in the weeks and months to come. All of the iPhone 17 models are believed to include a 24-megapixel front-facing camera with the 6-element lens, an increase above the existing 12-megapixel front-facing lens. Apple is likely to increase the telephoto lens to 48 megapixels, a huge boost over the present 12-megapixel telephoto lens. The iPhone 17 Pro versions will be the first iPhones with 3 48-megapixel lenses, since the wide and ultra-wide lenses have already been updated to 48 megapixels. The iPhone 17 Pro's wide camera might include a mechanical aperture that allows users modify the size of the aperture to control the amount of light that enters the lens. Current iPhones have fixed apertures, but a variable aperture will allow for greater control over the depth of field. Using the iPhone 16 and 16 Plus, Apple developed a new battery adhesive that can be loosened using a low-voltage electrical current, making the battery simpler to remove and replace. That similar technology might be employed in the iPhone 17 Pro variants this year. Apple purportedly tested a 7.5-watt reverse wireless charging function for the iPhone 17 Pro, which would enable the iPhone to transmit wireless power to other Apple gadgets like AirPods and Apple Watch. Current iPhones are able to deliver 4.5 watt of power to the Apple Watch and AirPods via USB-C, but there is no option for reverse wireless charging. The iPhone 17 models are projected to handle up to 35-watt wired charging rates, which implies there would be no change from the present charging maximum. 6. Screen. The iPhone 17 series screen is anticipated to have 3 noteworthy enhancements. First, Mashable, among others, cites a Korean source that the iPhone 17 will receive the always-on 120Hz ProMotion displays on all variants. Today, always-on ProMotion displays are only available on Apple's higher-priced Pro models. ProMotion, originally featured on the 2017 iPad Pro, increases the fluidity of scrolling and video playing. TechRadar says that this new panel may be able to decrease its refresh rate from 120 Hz down to 1 Hz. This would enable the phone to conserve substantial battery life while showing static material, such when utilizing the always-on screen setting or standby. Lastly, McRumors cites a Chinese allegation that the iPhone 17 screen would utilize a new super-hard anti-reflective layer to avoid scratches and screen damage, replacing the present ceramic shield technology. 7. Face ID. Rosyan, an industry expert at Display Supply Chain Consultants, predicts that the iPhone 17 Pro models will make a huge adjustment to Face ID. Instead of employing a camera notch at the top of the screen, the Face ID will be implanted under the phone's screen. While the selfie camera cutout would persist, placing the Face ID sensors beneath the screen would be a step towards doing away with the notch altogether and having an all-screen front on a future iPhone model. 8. Connectivity. While the iPhone 17 Air will use Apple's 5G modem, the iPhone 17 Pro versions will continue to employ a 5G modem from Qualcomm. All 4 iPhone 17 models that are due in 2025 will contain Apple's first custom-designed Wi-Fi chip with Wi-Fi 7 compatibility. Wi-Fi 7 is already employed in the iPhone 16 models, but Apple's chip design might provide significant efficiency and connection benefits, and also opens the path for a future all-in-one SoC. Apple is seeking to build a wireless arrangement where the components are closely integrated and more energy efficient, which will help the firm cut down on the battery consumption of cellular, Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth technologies. Wi-Fi 7 allows data transfer across 2.4 GHz, 5 GHz, and 6 GHz band concurrently for higher speeds and reduced latency with a compatible router. Wi-Fi 7 provides peak rates of more than 40 GB per second. Bluetooth 5.3 is also anticipated. While not a widely published rumor, Hot Hardware believes that the iPhone 17 may modify its physical proportions, growing taller and skinnier, with a 19.6 to 9 aspect ratio. The aspect ratio of current iPhone is 16:9. While there are no specific rumors regarding the usage of AI in the iPhone 17 yet, it's an absolute guarantee that that model and its version of the iOS will have loads of new AI features. What there depends on what features launch with the iPhone 16 or iOS 18 in 2024, and how the quickly evolving AI sector progresses, but rely on some new artificial intelligence upgrades. In recent years, Apple has substantially decreased the gap between the standard and Pro models. The changes are now so slight, in fact, that in our iPhone 16 review, we labeled the device as a Pro in disguise. And with the next iPhone 17 reported to sport a 120 Hz refresh rate for the first time, the distinction between this year's models might be even more muddled. The expert Jeff Pooh thinks there will be at least one important difference, however. In a letter to investors reviewed by 9to5Mac, the iPhone 17 Pro versions will gain an additional 4 GB RAM on their predecessors, putting them to 12 GB apiece. Meanwhile, iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max are expected to migrate to LPDDR5 12 gigs. This transition alone will contribute to a 3.5% UA increase in smartphone DRAM content across an estimated 100 million new iPhone units, Pew adds. This is essentially Pew doubling down on a previous forecast. He claimed that this year's iPhone will be receiving a 12 gigs update last August, before 2024's models were even unveiled. According to the site, the justification for this year's increase is entirely down to AI performance, with Apple Intelligence set to have rising needs over time. Even if next year's standard iPhones have AI feature parity with the Pro versions, this would theoretically enable the iPhone 17 Pro forward compatibility with the Apple Intelligence requirements of the iPhone 18 or 19, but the regular model could have to pass. If a RAM update is on the cards, and it's for AI-related reasons, it wouldn't be the first time for Apple. With the announcement of last year's iPhone 16 family, Apple took the uncommon step of not only confirming the internal RAM statistics of each model, but admitting that it was to guarantee each phone could easily run Apple Intelligence. The justification for this year's update is entirely down to AI performance, with Apple Intelligence set to have rising needs over time. The same will be true of the leap to 12 gigs, although likely less obvious with today's apps. But there appears to be some controversy over which models will receive the increase. Just days after Pew's first 12 gigs forecast last August, another expert, Ming-Chi Kuo, indicated that 12 gigs RAM will Apple restricted to the iPhone 17 Pro Max. That might theoretically push some purchasers towards the bigger Pro Max model, but there's only so much such a technique can do. Some people simply don't want a 6.9-inch phone straining their pockets out. We still have some time to go before the complete specifications of the iPhone 17 are officially announced. While Apple only unveiled the iPhone 16a this month, for over a decade, the full numbered releases have almost always occurred in September, with only a pandemic-related delay of 1 month in 2020 breaking the trend. So, what do you think about this competition between the iPhone 16 and iPhone 17? Which phone are you more excited about? Let us know in the comments below. Then I will see you in my next video.